what I've done is I've said to the Republicans, show me what you've got. You've been sitting on the sidelines criticizing what we're proposing.
He was just getting warmed up. A few minutes later, the president said this.
Here's my thing. You got a better idea? Bring it on. But what I will not do is to stop working on this issue, because it is the right thing to do for America, and you need to let your members of Congress know they shouldn't give up. They should keep on pushing to make it happen.
Now, the president's call is clear. He wants to hear from the opposition. He says he wants bipartisanship, but is he going to get it? Congressman Mike Pence, chairman of the Republican Conference Committee, is my guest now. Congressman, good afternoon.
Hey, Megan, welcome back.
Thank you so much. So is he going to get it? The president says he is committed to bipartisanship. Are you going to give it to him?
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, we invited the president to our House Republican retreat last week and ended up on live television across the nation. We presented to him then a compendium available at GOP.gov of all the Republican alternatives that we had offered on economic stimulus, on budget, on energy, on health care reform. So I got to tell you, I'm pretty mystified to hear the president, heading out to the country yesterday and saying, I've told him, show me what you got. Excuse me, Mr. President, we just showed you what we got. You repeatedly acknowledged that we have, in fact, been offering solutions. And, it just gets a little bit frustrating when the president on Friday is acknowledging that Republicans have been offering positive alternatives. And by early this week, he's back to essentially acting as though he's still waiting for us to come up with stuff.
He says he's frustrated, too, because he says, look, can I get any reaching across the aisle? He points to cap and trade, where he didn't get Republican support. He points to the $787 billion stimulus, where he didn't get any Republican support. He points to this health care bill, where he says he didn't get any Republican support, virtually any Republican support. He says you guys are really making it difficult for him to get anything done because you're not reaching across the aisle.
Well, look, bipartisanship doesn't mean giving Republicans the opportunity to vote for Democrat bills. Bipartisanship actually requires not reflexively saying no to every Republican proposal and then turning around and pretending like the Republicans didn't make any proposals at all. I mean, Megan, come on. You've heard the administration now for the last year telling the American people what liberals on the Hill have been telling the American people, that we're the party of no ideas. Well, the president acknowledged repeatedly on Friday in Baltimore at the Republican retreat that we have, in fact, offered ideas. But, it's frustrating to me that we're back to that same tired rhetoric when he says, I guess yesterday he said, bring me the ideas. Well, at GOP.gov, anybody can go and read the book that we handed to the president.
Right? That's just him rallying the crowds, right? But do you not? Does that force you to dismiss everything he said when he talked to you guys on Friday? He invited you to the White House. Supposed to go there next week. He's invited you to Camp David. He's invited you guys over for the Super Bowl. I mean, it seems like a little bit of an olive branch. Are you going to take it?
Well, look, let me say, I'm an Indianapolis Colts fan, so I'm going to the Super Bowl, Megan. I'm not going to the White House. Beyond that, look, we welcome the dialogue. It was our idea to invite the president to come to the House Republican retreat. It's healthy for the country, this public exchange of ideas. But bottom line, talk is cheap. I mean, it wasn't just that House Republicans opposed their failed economic stimulus plan, their national energy tax, their government takeover of health care. The broad majority of the American people opposed those things. And until this administration begins to demonstrate a willingness to step away from all these big government schemes, higher taxes, more government, more deficits, more debt, then, all we're going to be doing here is talking, when the American people would really like us to be trying to listen to each other and find those areas of common ground that we can pursue in the best interest of the United States.
But, when I listen to you talk, I think they're at loggerheads. They're at a stalemate. Nothing's going to happen because you guys are never going to bend on President Obama's health care ambitions and his cap and trade ambitions. And a lot of your supporters and your voters out there that's what they want, for you not to bend. And he's never going to bend on some of the things that you want. I mean, he's not going to let the Bush tax cuts stay in place. He's not going to make massive cuts like some of the Republicans want in certain spending areas. So what's going to get done for the American people? Is this just how we have to live now? Every 4 years, nothing happens while both parties fight it out on Capitol Hill?
Well, the first thing that's going to get done is we're not going to do the wrong thing. I mean, House Republicans are going to continue to oppose policies that will drive our economy further in the tank that'll increase deficits and the burden of debt on our children and grandchildren. I mean, first, do no harm. We're going to continue to fight in a principled way as the loyal opposition on Capitol Hill. But I want to suggest to you that if the Democrats on Capitol Hill and if this administration will recognize it's not just House Republicans that don't want their government takeover of health care, it's not just House Republicans that don't want their national energy tax and more of their so-called stimulus policies of passing out, government spending and boutique tax cuts, if they'll recognize that's the American people that don't want those things, the president can come our way, and we have ideas built on the principles of limited government, fiscal and personal responsibility. And I guarantee you, Megan, if the president wants to look at our proposals that resonate with the broad mainstream of this country, we can achieve policy. But that Republicans are going, as you suggest, to continue to fight on principle on behalf of the American people against all this big government spending, deficits, debt, bailouts, and takeovers.
Congressman Mike Pence, always a pleasure hearing from you, sir. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Megan.